Good evening, everyone, and welcome to another episode of He Said, He Said, He Said. A look at the world from a seasoned Black man's perspective. I'm Alvin King, and I want to say Happy New Year to each and every one of you. We have missed you all, but we needed to take some time off so that we could, rejuvenate, take care of ourselves, and prepare more shows for you. For real though, no, we have to do that. But it is so good to be back. I hope everyone had a great New Year and you brought it in the way you wanted to. Um, if I recall, it was pretty warm for New Year's. So some of you all were riding your bikes and not listening to the news and hearing that some snow was coming because you all got used to that 65-degree weather, and then it hit on Monday. Baby, in DC, people were stuck on 95 for 24 hours because of the snow. That is no joke. Now, I've lived through Snowmageddon here in DC. I don't know if that must have been 2000, what? I don't know, 2000, 2019, I think. But that was really bad. People were stuck on highways for like 8 hours, but this was 24 hours. So thank God nobody was injured, nobody was hurt. Everybody got out of it. I think the only thing that was, hurt or bruised was their feelings, but everybody's doing well. On a serious tip, everybody, today, Ahmaud Arbery murder trial, the convictions were read, and those three monsters got convicted, and the judge read their sentences, and two of them got life without parole, and one of them got life with parole. Now, it will not bring back Ahmaud Arbery, but I want to say to his family again, our deepest sympathy. But justice will not bring him back, but justice was served today, ladies and gentlemen. And also, before we get into the show, if you haven't heard, Sidney Poitier, the legend, the icon, the actor, the civil rights activist, Mr. Black Excellence himself, Sidney Poitier died today, ladies and gentlemen. And he was the first African American to win an Academy Award. He has received the Kennedy Center honor. And tonight, my look for Sidney Poitier, I've recreated it because this was the first look that I saw a man with a necktie untied. And you know I love my neckties. So tonight, I'm paying homage to Sidney Poitier. Rest in peace, Sidney Poitier. You did what you had to do. So tonight, ladies and gentlemen, thank you again for joining us. Our show tonight is on skincare. And some of you might ask yourself, is it really necessary? Well, yeah, absolutely. Because while having a skincare routine may seem like just a cosmetic necessity, a skincare routine is not just to help you look good, it's essential for your skin's health. And just drinking water is not going to do it. Our lives are built on habits, from our morning coffee or tea to the side of the bed we get up on. Our routines shape our days and our bodies. Now, while the term habit often has a negative connotation to it, we can also create habits that are beneficial to our health and the health of our skin. Our special guest tonight, Rudy Miles, makeup artist and licensed esthetician for Beauty by Rudy, joins He Said, He Said, He Said to bring us into the new year with what you need to know about maintaining your skin for the right glow up to keep your skin tight. And stick around for the second segment of the show where we have our segment, We See You, where we feature a Black-owned business. And tonight, you will meet CEO and founder of Triumph Therapeutics, Omololu Majeko Dumi. And I did a good job of pronouncing his name because I thought I was going to mess that up, but I got it right. Ladies and gentlemen, though, I can't do what I do without welcoming for the new year my co-host, Mr. Vash Bodhi. Come on in here, guy. How you doing? Oh, you're mute. Look, Vash, you better unmute. You gotta unmute.
I do that to myself. I do.
We want to hear you. We want to hear you.
I know. I said brilliant things, and I gave away the winning lottery numbers.
Oh,
so
did we miss that?
I am so sorry. If you missed it and you need to hear them, let us know in the comments, and I will see if I can give them to you again. But I just want to say hello, Alvin. Happy New Year to you.
Happy New Year, man.
Happy New Year to everyone who is tuned in. I see people in the comments, Monica and Rose already, but there are people out there who haven't said hello to us. So if you are listening, please say hello to us. I have gotten all kinds of messages from people saying that they're there, but they're not saying hello because they just don't feel like they can say anything or that it's going to be part of the conversation. I just want you to know, if you are out there and you're watching, please say hello to us because we want to see and hear you.
Thank you.
So
Thank
that's
you.
it.
So hopefully you had a great new year and everything is going well for you. And I know we've been talking a lot, but New Year, everything, the holidays just went by so fast. So I'm glad you're here. We're back again for a new year, and
Definitely.
I'm ready to move forward. So I got a couple of things that I want to talk to you about before we bring on our special guests. And one of them happens to be yesterday was what they're calling the anniversary of the insurrection, the attack on the Capitol building, and I got some problems with that, and I just want to share. First of all, can I share with you, Fosh? Can I share that with you?
Alvin, we have to talk about this, and wherever you are ready to go with it, I am ready to go because it has been a year, and I'm ready to talk about it. Hi, Keith. Hi, Michelle. Hi, Rob. Hi, Aunt Debbie. Hi, Scott.
Hey, look. Okay, here's my problem. First of all, it is the media. I know that there's been all these anniversaries and whatnot. They're talking about, the police, and they're honoring everybody. They're even, honoring the fact that the event happened, in my opinion. And none of the media has been talking about how Black people might have been affected by what they saw a year ago. And I mean, me personally, it didn't hit me until I looked at it yesterday, and I said, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute, wait a minute. If I'm feeling this, some other people might be feeling this.
Yes.
The media needs to recognize that Black people had to sit through the police letting white people do whatever they wanted to do, giving them a pass to do whatever they wanted to do. Now, I live in DC. I walk near the Capitol. You can't get close before police is walking up to me, Black me, saying, where you going? You can't do this, you can't do that. There were white people carrying Confederate flags and beating up reporters and stumping on their equipment, and nothing was done. No, I'm trying not to say, when I say nothing was done, I think you all get what I'm saying. Because if it were Black people walking up to that building with a Black Lives Matter flag, there would be caucus, and climbing the building, they would still be peeling African-American skin with blood off of the U.S. Capitol.
Off of the building. Absolutely.
Off of the building. Off of the
Absolutely.
building. And I lived through that yesterday. I thought, how dare you give them a pass? And we're supposed to look at the police and justice as, this is justice, and be okay with it. I was really affected by that yesterday, and the fact that the media is not even talking about it. And one more thing before you add to that, when those people went in that building, they defecated on the floor. They urinated in corners. I'm sure that the cleaning staff are not Caucasian people cleaning up that mess. Nothing was said about that. So I'm gonna get off my high horse with that. But you know what? If we never talk about that in the way that they did it yesterday, with all the candlelight visuals and crap, you can stop it. Because as a Black person, I felt I was affected by it, and I didn't like it.
Everything that you just said. I mean, in some of the things that have been uncovered, including some of the texts that were exchanged between Sean Hannity and, folks, where the president was told that there's things like, hey, there's an armed standoff happening at the doors of the chamber. If that were Black folks or brown folks or anyone else other than the folks that were outside that door, they would have been shooting at those people. First of all, they wouldn't have gotten as close. So when you bring up the whole racial aspect of the differences in how things were handled, you are 100% on the money. What I do hope is that as they continue with these investigations, that they do find more evidence and they do impose stronger sentences on these people, because they're just barely getting slaps on the wrist for doing things that should be getting much longer sentences. Some of them should be getting life sentences. There was an insurrection against this country, and there was a terrorist attack on the Capitol, and it should reflect in sentencing and with the vigor that they go after these people.
You know, I'm gonna let you have the last word on that, Bosch, because that was very eloquent. Because anything I say might sound, a slightly hood. So I'm not going to say that. And while I'm in this frame, and my skin is feeling good, and I'm excited about this show. Are you ready to move on to the show? Are you ready to do that?
No, because we need to talk about your outfit for just a quick second. Give me 2 minutes to talk about you and your outfit honoring Sidney Poitier, who has passed away. I mean, you look good. You were recreating one of his outfits, and I think it's super spectacular. And I want to tie that into, because Sidney Poitier did one of my favorite movies, which was A Patch of Blue, which is a story about a Black man befriending a blonde and blind white woman. Yes. Now, you also watched Women of the Movement, which is a series that highlights Black women of the civil rights movement. And the episode that aired, the first episode, was about Emmett Till.
Yes.
Sidney Poitier's film, A Patch of Blue, in my opinion, has always been a response to the Emmett Till killings, where Emmett Till was killed because he even just looked at and spoke to a white woman.
He did,
and
right.
Sidney Poitier was in a film where they showed a Black man befriending a white woman just 10 years after the Emmett Till killing. And Sidney Poitier has always been a trailblazer. He has always been a man who has helped advance civil rights. And I just want to honor him by just saying thank you for that.
Thank you. Rest in peace, Sidney Poitier. Okay, your legacy lives.
Yes.
Thank you, Bosch. So tonight, ladies and gentlemen, we are here to talk about our skin tonight. So I'm going to introduce our special guest. Okay, our featured guest tonight is Rudy Miles. He is a diverse editorial makeup artist, licensed skincare therapist, and educator skilled in the beauty and fashion industries, combining his experiences with business, retail, technical artistry, and skincare knowledge. Following a career in fashion as a print and runway model in Chicago, which led to a job assisting new talent portfolios at John Casablanca Elite Modeling Agency, he also studied fashion merchandising and marketing at the International Academy of Merchandising and Design. But after making the move to New York in the late 90s, he joined the Aveda Flatiron Experience Center, where his clientele included actress Susan Sarandon, singer Shaka Khan, and model Karen Alexander. And he helped launch the Aveda makeup packaging for Yuruku products. With clients, with credits like makeup team leader during the New York Fashion Week for top fashion designers Oscar de la Renta, Valentino, and Dolce & Gabbana, along with creating celebrity skincare regimens for actor Matthew McConaughey, rapper Daryl DMC McDaniels, Paris and Nicole Hilton, and Kendall Jenner on his client list. You can view Rudy's appearance with amazing cosmetics on QVC Beauty IQ under the videos tab. But tonight, he is here to talk about his brand, Beauty by Rudy, and how we all can start the new year off skin tight. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the He Said, He Said stage, Mr. Rudy Miles.
Hello!
Hey, welcome, my man.
I want to get myself situated here. There we go.
I know, really.
I like it there. Hi, everybody.
That smile is so infectious. Okay, it is. Okay, it is like.
What is going on?
Thank you for being here tonight, man. Now, you know what? Skin is very important to me, and skincare is very important to me. So, opening the show this year with you to tell people how they can take care of their skin, it doesn't matter who you are, what you are. Your skin is very important to you. Okay, it's the first thing people see. Okay.
Yes.
Well, I won't what they see, not what they're looking for. Okay, right. It's the first thing that they see. So you better know it. But Rudy, if you could take a minute, please tell us about Beauty by Rudy. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, for sure. So, I come from a corporate background. I come from education. I come from retail. And when I left that world in 2010, the idea was, how can I position myself in the industry in a way that spoke my truth in all those lanes? And Beauty by Rudy was born from that, because it really is me doing all things beautiful. I like to say that I'm exploring beauty as an emotion, is what my brand is really about. It's education. How can I train other artists to build careers? And careers aren't always about celebrity. It's how can I wake up every day doing what I love and making a living at it? And I diversified in 2013 by going back to school for skin, because in the industry today, you're more valuable if you do hair and makeup. I don't do hair, but I did always love skin. So going back to school to get licensed in skincare made me more marketable on the skincare side as it fuses with makeup.
Okay. Well, thank you. Well, again, I've been following you,
Ah,
and so and I've been following some of your videos, ladies and gentlemen, on IG. Go to Beauty by Rudy and click click like, follow him. But I've been following some of your regimens. So again, thank you for being here.
thank
I'm
you.
going to also open up with a two-part question.
Yes.
Let's talk about exfoliation. Is it necessary and why?
Okay. Exfoliation is absolutely necessary. The truth is, everyone, if you never exfoliated, your skin would naturally do the job. It just would do it much more slowly. The concern that we have as estheticians in the industry today is that people are over exfoliating and using exfoliants that aren't right for their skin condition or for their end result needs. What does that mean? There's both physical exfoliations, which we know, which are little granules of whatever they are, oat or jojoba seeds, walnut, whatever that is, where the particles actually do the work. You put on your skin, you manipulate it, you rinse it off. And what it does is brighten that upper layer that's ready to slough off anyway. You're just moving it along. So that's physical exfoliation. You can also do that with a dry terry cloth washcloth. I mean, gently across your skin. It will do it differently, but it will get the job done. The other exfoliation, which people often don't combine with the physical exfoliation, is a chemical exfoliation. And that comes from using an alpha hydroxy product like a glycol or a lactic acid, something that you put on your skin and you leave on, so that over time it's helping with that exfoliation and brightening of the skin. Why those two together are the best combination? Well, because you have the physical exfoliation is taking off what's ready, and you have the chemical exfoliation, which is loosening what isn't ready yet. So the two together are ideal. The issue is most people are only using a lot of the physical exfoliation, and they're very aggressive on the face. Remember, I said the particles do the work. So now you have these particles, you have the aggressive hands, and people go to town on their faces, which actually disrupts, it does the opposite of what you're trying to do. It disrupts the healthy, we call it the microbiome or the acid mantle. It's basically the healthy upper layer of your skin goes in shock, because now you have all this depletion that you've done, right? You've removed all the upper layers, and most people don't follow with nourishing steps like serums and moisturizers. So is exfoliation necessary? Yes. Can we explore how to do it properly? Absolutely.
Well, and that leads into my next question about exfoliation, because when you say chemical exfoliation, we all know that you got to pay. You get what you pay for. Okay, let me just say that. And so, is there a right way or a wrong way to exfoliate?
Okay. Which chemical and physical or in
Oh,
general?
well, chemical. I think.
Okay.
Well, yeah. I'm going to say chemical, because
Okay.
chemical that's what you pay for. You have to go to the store and or order it or whatever.
Absolutely
Mhm,
correct. So,
mhm.
again, I am a licensed esthetician, and in my industry, like in all industries, there is a range of talent and skill and know-how. With chemical peels, they come in all different strengths. I mean, most of people remember maybe like Sex in the City, where she goes to get a peel, her face is red, and she can't go anywhere.
Yeah.
That's the extreme of peels. And they still exist.
Right.
But you could get a peel where you go in, you get it done, and you can go back to work during your lunch hour. You can get those done too. So those are professional peels.
Hmm.
I recommend, if you're going to get that level of peel, that you don't go online, buy it, and take a chance at home, because they
Thank
can
you.
be very active.
Okay.
So invest in an esthetician and definitely get a professional service. On the at home side, though, on the market today, any glycolic retail item or salicylic acid retail item. It's made to be safe to use at home as your part of your at-home system that will give you the results. It just will take a little longer.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, that
You're
was
welcome.
and thank you for supporting some of these at-home ones. I had a very severe acne condition when I was growing up, and Proactive helped. And you mentioning some of those products, the glycol in it, really did help. And I continued to use it for a while afterwards, and it did. It brought some really great results to me. With that, I have to ask you, Rudy, like, how many steps should someone have within their skincare routine?
Well, Vash, I want to commend you first of all because you said two vital things just now. You said that you had a skin condition, but you also did something about it. So those are the two things. In all honesty, if you look at your skin and you want it different than what you see, that's the first step. You acknowledge that it's different. But the second step, you're going to have to do something to get the skin that you want.
Right.
Which brings us to the question that you asked: how many steps should you have? The truth is, how many steps can you commit to doing consistently? If you want to do one great step, there is a product. Cleansing is not a step. We consider that like the foundation. So you must cleanse. But after cleansing, what is the other step that you could do to get the best results for yourself? Now, I'm a bald man. I don't have to spend time for hair. So I have like 8 steps because all my time is spent on my face. So the minimum I think you could get away with, honestly, is 2. I think you could definitely do a great cleanse, and there are products on the market that can hydrate and be your serum. And from that, you can add other steps based on I can't say enough, what you're willing to do consistently. Because if you're looking for brightness because you have a dark spot, but you use your treatment product once a week, that dark spot is going to take a year to go away because it needs consistency to trigger it and remind it to start to elevate, brighten, and leave that area. So as minimum as 2, as maximum as what you could commit to and how much time you have.
Right on. We have a question from Keith who says, which are best, facial sponges or granule facial scrubs? And this is getting back, I guess, to the exfoliation.
Oh, what's his name? Keith?
Keith, yes.
J.
That is everyone. So Keith asked a great question. What's best, sponges or granules? In the marketplace, unfortunately, there is no one answer for that because in the marketplace, people often say, don't use a certain brand, I won't say brands, scrub on your face because it's too aggressive. It's made from apricots. That brand and those apricots are too aggressive for your face, but there are other brands who have more finely milled apricot that are great for your face. So I don't know the sponge you're speaking of. I would have to see the actual tool to ask. My concern with a sponge, I don't know if it's disposable or reusable, is hygiene. I am concerned about using a product that you just use day to day without hygiene in between. So I need a little more information about the actual tool. The scrubs, you wash off, you're one and done. So that's easy.
He's talking about those blue sponges that you use on your dishes that have the rough side and the light side.
You know what? You know what? You know what? You know what?
I'm sure Keith is investing in better sponges. But Keith, I hope that answered your question. If not, let us know.
Unless Keith is a pot. No.
Well, Rudy, do facial treatments really work?
Yeah, you guys have the best questions. And by the way, everyone, we didn't even rehearse these. These are real questions coming at me in real time. Okay, so do facial treatments really work? The way I talk to my clients about facial treatments is like going to the dentist. You go to the dentist for maintenance because the dentist hopefully would do things to clean your teeth that you don't do at home. They do the whole gum line thing and the little pick and the scaling, if that's your dentist. So in that answer, the answer is yes. But with facials, you must go to a facial therapist who has for you a plan of treatment in mind. I am not a fan of I'm gonna treat myself to a facial Thursday and it's like a one-off. Unless it's maybe microdermabrasion or something that's kind of like a surface treatment. The best treatments is like you come this time and we do this. You come the next time, we're gonna do this. So it's like a series of steps that lead you to your end result. Facial treatments absolutely work because you probably, if you're someone who picks your face, you're probably extracting the wrong way, which are leaving dark marks. So maybe an esthetician who can do it without leaving the dark marks can get that clean skin that you want. So for treatment purposes, absolutely. And then there's all the modalities. There's the light therapy, there's high frequency, things you may not have at home that also do different things to give you the benefits that you want.
Those things really work, because you see those people with those little like small little vacuum things running over people's skin. It just looks like they are just taking people's money. Are those things doing anything?
Listen, well, one of those things is called microdermabrasion and
Okay.
dermabrasion, and they absolutely do work, because what they do is they use suction plus
Mhm.
what's like a diamond head. There are a lot of different ones on the market, but the suction pulls out the impurities as the textured edges scrapes across the skin gently. So you get a deep
I
pore
see.
cleansing, you get
Yes.
exfoliation. There's also hydrofacials people use that uses water to burst into the skin to loosen up debris. So, I mean, with the right modality and the right therapist, absolutely they work.
Well,
Right
first of
on.
all, I'm just going to echo you on that, because I've had my head back in a couple of chairs and had that, you see that
Yes,
the
microdermabrasion.
the microdermabrasion, and it makes you feel incredible, ladies and gentlemen. So for those of you who ask me, what do I do with my skin? Email us at he said live, and I will tell you. So Rudy, do eye creams really work though?
Oh, gosh. Okay. Again, everyone, work is defined by where we're starting. So let's say you're starting with puffy eyes with a lot of fine lines, maybe texture is your concern.
Mm-hmm.
You can absolutely get results from fine lines. Eye creams with caffeine or cucumber can help to depuff, but they will never take away what may be genetic or lifestyle. Those changes, no. They also have to be used consistently. But we want to keep in mind that the under eye area is very different than the skin on your face. It's thinner, it's more apt to texture. It doesn't have sweat glands, so it doesn't release as many toxins through sweating. So eye cream is essential if you have specific concerns that you could visibly see, like puffiness and fine lines. Darkness is something you can get some brightness from a retinol eye cream, but you still may have to use concealer or something to brighten it that much more. It will never take it away.
Now, Rudy, being that you're in the fashion industry, I know you're gonna know what I'm about to say. For I know every model who might hear this episode, I know they know about putting Ben Gay under their eyelids when it was time for a show. Okay, so everybody could look surprised when it was time. They would put, no, not Ben Gay. It
Preparation
was
H,
I was
right?
about to say
Preparation
Ben
H.
Gay would make you cry.
It was Preparation H, and I
Yes.
don't know if they still do it. But back in my fashion production days, I mean, every model I knew came up in there with their Preparation H in their bag, just in case they had to do that. And I don't even want you to answer on that, Rudy, but because I know what you're gonna say. But if they got paid and they went home. So okay, so why is skincare? Why
Why?
is skincare so expensive? Okay.
Well, let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. In the industry, everyone, and this is why when we think about brands, and when brands approach me, my first comment to them is, don't tell me your marketing story, because don't tell me that. Just send me the product, let me use it, and I'll tell you what the product is or isn't. Because marketing is not performance. As consumers, we are marketed to a lot. There are brands who do a lot of backwork technology, ingredient sourcing, packaging, environmental responsibility that justify their pricing. There are other brands who, let's just say, the house or the legacy allows them to charge the price for the product, and the ingredients aren't of high standard necessarily. So skincare does not have to be expensive. There are some amazing products in Rite Aid, Dwayne Reed, Walgreens that are high performance and inexpensive. But that goes back to my conversation earlier on. You have to be clear about what goals do you want, and then find the products and ingredients that fit that goal, because more isn't better, and all skincare is not expensive.
Yeah. Okay.
No one's giving us any money right now, but I still want to ask this question. Like, what are a couple of products that we might find in a CVS or a Rite Aid that might do specific things that our listeners and watchers may be interested in achieving?
So you really want to talk about like name? You want to name a name?
I mean,
I don't mind.
yeah, give us, I mean, like,
Okay.
you don't have to go on a
No.
whole like thing, but give us a couple of things that people can get some value from.
I'm going to tell you one of the concerns that I work with, lots of people, mostly people with melanin,
Mhm.
it's dark spots and discoloration,
Okay.
and how to get the
Yes.
skin bright. Garnier makes this incredible dark spot corrector. I think it's under $20. It's
Okay.
like lactic acid, salicylic acid, vitamin C, but whatever it brightens, you can use it as your moisturizer. It will not be your SPF, but you can use it as a moisturizer, and it absolutely works. It's a great product for that. They also make the rollerball little eye gel that absolutely works. It feels good because it has a little round, cooling rollerball to it. So, and some of the retinol products that you find in the drugstore are fine. The thing is, if you're not concerned about ingredients or sourcing or that stuff, if that's less important to you, then drugstore brands are probably fine.
Right
Yeah,
on.
I was getting ready to say, I was getting ready when you were talking about apricot earlier. I didn't want to run upstairs and get my tube of apricot that I put on my face like, every other day, because I'm telling you it works. And I get that from a Walmart. I don't even want to I don't even want to give the brand away, but it is apricot and the girl works.
That's
Okay.
the one I was talking about.
Okay. that girl works. Okay. So I'm sorry, boss. I'm sorry. I just had to go there on that. You made me do it. Okay. You made me do it.
Hilarious. Well, I do have a question. So, Rudy, like, what are some things that we should never do to our skin?
Okay. So things you should never do to your skin. There's a service called microblading or dermablading. I'm sorry, dermablading. I think that's something you should leave to a professional. It's literally using a sharp razor object to exfoliate the skin. I think you could, but I say that because you can buy it online, but that doesn't mean you should. That's one. The second one is buying any esthetician level peels to use at home. And that's something like a Jesner, is Jessner. They're very aggressive, and you should never do that. You should never wash your face and just run out the house. Like after you wash your face, you have to hydrate with something, a face oil or a moisturizer. It literally there's a symbiotic dance, like this codependent environment that lives on your face. And when you strip it, you throw it completely off balance. And what that looks like for many of us is dryness, itchiness, breakout, redness, blotchiness, because the skin is literally off balance. The body is an amazing machine. It truly is. And you hear the cliche things like your skin is your biggest organ. And you have to think about that, because if you could put product on and we say it absorbs, so does particle size, pollution, dirt, and debris. So those are things to be very, very, very
Sure.
mindful of. The skin is pretty resilient, but we still should respect it.
Yeah.
Right on.
I echo that.
Yeah. I mean, that's also very important. Now I have a question, because Alvin and I were talking before the show about the fact that we both shaved for the first time, for me, in 2 weeks, because we were off. What do you recommend for people with beard treatments, whether it's those of us who are going from having a beard to not having a beard, or just those that are having a beard all the time?
And so particularly because beards are so popular right now, too.
Very popular.
Yeah, very popular.
So keep in mind that when you shave, you are also exfoliating, because you may not think of it that way, but if you use a razor or even an electric, it's touching the skin, it's lifting that surface area. I highly recommend we use a pre-shave before you shave, like a face oil or a lotion treatment, so that you give the skin, and sometimes it can help soften the hair, a little more suppleness, so it can be a little gentler on the skin. Aftershave, I grew up with aftershave that was completely alcohol based. You put it on and it tingles, so you know it works.
Right.
But that is not what aftershave should be. You want to like soothe your skin afterwards. So things that are aloe based, alcohol free. Again, a face oil will be great for that. Beards are hair. So you want to treat, I tell my clients, treat your beard like your scalp and your hair if you have it. So treat the skin underneath like skin, treat the hair like hair. So you want to still brush it or comb it if that's what you do. You want to exfoliate in between, section it and get close to the skin. And even for some of my guests to literally use maybe a beard shampoo versus just your face wash, because your beard is more hair than obviously it is your face, and it should be treated as such.
Now, Rudy, I want to share with you and with the audience, I have a very strange way of shaving.
Okay.
I can't, I use a depilatory. For those out there who use Magic Shave, I have to use Magic Shave on my face. I cannot put a razor or any type of sharp object near my face at all, but I shave my head with a straight razor. So it is it has saved the day, and I'm glad. I think I learned early on what my skin can take and what it can't, and so I've stuck with it for like over 40 years. But yeah, a Magic Shave. I use that depilatory, and how I have to clean and exfoliate my face after that is a process within itself. So my question to you is: is Magic Shave a good? Is that good to use on your skin?
Ooh,
So
that seems like that depends on the skin, because I gotta tell you, that used to burn me, Alvin.
Oh, Voss, and white men cannot use Magic Shave because I've told some of my Caucasian friends, do not do that because everyone will think you have a cat. Do not do that. It is not for Caucasian skin for real. So, I mean, again, it's worked for me, but I wanted to ask, is that good to, is that, should people be using Magic Shave?
but you just said it. Based on your skin and your system, it works. And
Mhm.
Vosh said it too. It works for you. I used to use it on my chest, and I remember leaving it on too long and just have burning for weeks, a burning hot
You can
sensation.
see
This
your
was
rib cage.
all of that, all of that. So
On
it's not a
your chest?
yeah. I used to use it to take my
My
chest hair off.
Lord, my
We
Lord,
wanted
my
like
Lord.
that's a
Okay.
different story.
I no, I can't
So
even imagine Magic Shave anywhere but on my face. But go ahead.
yeah, yeah,
Whew.
yeah. And Nair was the other one. We used to use Nair or Magic Shave.
Well,
But the idea is Magic Shave is the depilatory, so it
mhm.
does have a higher amount of activity. I recommend after Magic Shave, everything following should be soothing, non-alcohol, not no alcohol, no witch
Right.
hazel,
Mhm.
uh, to hydrate and calm the skin down for sure.
Mhm.
You do the opposite. Use a straight razor on your head. That's great. Some of us of melanin, when we use razors on our face, you get the ingrown hair.
Right.
Even how to shave is important. Sometimes
Mhm.
you learn to shave against the grain, and that is the suicide for not suicide. I shouldn't say that. Excuse me. That is the death of your skin if you are a man of color, because that's inviting ingrown hairs.
Right.
So how to shave is just as important. So if you can use Magic Shave with no irritation, the right thing that's right is what's right for you.
Yep. That's a thank you, Rudy. I appreciate that. So my last question for you, before we move on, is: can I use a regular bar of soap on my face like I use on my body?
Okay. So manufacturers will tell you yes. But if we really look at the science of the skin on your face and the skin on your body, the science will tell you no. Your skin on your body is much more, much thicker. It's much more resilient. It's less exposed. It's more protected, so it doesn't need the same amount of care. I need to notice. So I'm not going to knock all bar soaps, but many bar soaps are very high in surfactants, which is the cleaning agent, which are very drying. On
Mhm.
the body, that's not so bad because who I should say who may see it. Someone may see it, but on the face, everyone will see it because they can be very drying.
Yeah.
Now there are products on the market that are for both. They say face and body soap. Some are formulated to be right in the middle of the cleansing agent.
Mhm.
I prefer my clients to use two separate products. I do, though they are on the market that say you can use them for both as marketing items.
I'm right on for Rudy. Okay.
Wow. Well, I'm torn. I have two questions I want to ask you. I mean, I want to ask about men's cosmetics, but I also want to ask you about SPF. As people of color with melanin, that's been brought up a number of different times tonight. Do we need SPF in products, and how strong should those be?
So I teased to make a model once backstage who's from the Sudan. And I was like, it's really funny. You don't see people in the Sudan putting on no SPF. You just don't. We do have a natural built-in protection as people of color. That is true. However, we environmentally live a little differently. The sun and whatever you feel about climate change is what you feel. But it's not a bad idea to wear SPF daily. At least a 30 is what's recommended. Some people say we can wear as low as a 20, again, because we have that natural level of defense. The conversation, the controversy in the industry today is really whether it's chemical or physical. A physical SPF is like titanium dioxide, zinc, something that just physically blocks out the sun rays.
Mhm.
The reason those are great is because they're non-chemical, they're mineral and earth-based. The concern with them is that they leave a white cast on us. They take a little while to absorb because they're very chalky. In
Yeah.
general, there's some great ones on the market today that don't speak to that at all. Chemical SPFs are a little different. They get absorbed into the skin, slightly into the epidermis. And sun rays do still penetrate it, but they're able to convert the sun rays. The concern with those is that they are chemical, and there was just a recent recall of quite a few of those chemical SPFs in the marketplace. So SPF is a very tricky conversation in our industry right now. I recommend if you're going to wear one, let it be a mineral-based one of at least a 30.
That's a lot. And that means
That's
thick
a lot.
chalkiness. It is like an SPF 30 back in the day. That was when you were like trying not to
At the
get
beach.
no sun. Right.
Right.
Seriously.
And the truth is, everyone, SPF, like, it's such a mess. SPF, you put it on, you need at least 10 minutes before you leave home to put it on for it to be absorbed anyway. So you don't slap it on like a lotion. That's number one.
Okay.
It said you should reapply it, but really you only need to reapply it throughout the day if you're moving it, meaning sweating at the beach. If you put it on during the day and you go to work and you're at your desk and before you leave to go to work, you don't need to put it back on to go home. You do not.
Okay.
So there's a lot of misinformation about SPF, and there are sprays, there are powders, and the industry right now is in a, don't listen to me, everyone. Please Google some of this information. You'll see for as many answers as there are, they're the opposite answers to that very same answer.
Right on.
Well, stay close, because in about a week, I promise you, I won't have any SPF on me, and you will look. I will look like I will be as red, and I just love getting dark. Okay, I just love getting dark. So I'm glad you talked about thank you for asking that question about SPF, Vosh. But believe me, I will not have any FPS on. And Michelle Bailey just asked a question. Also, isn't FPS good to prevent, what is that?
Hyperpigmentation.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely true. So your skin is this living organism. So if dark spots are your concern, the melanin mechanism, melanin is a protector. It really is. When you get dark spots, it's your skin protecting it from the sun, or you squeezing it. It knows only that it's trauma. So SPF definitely helps if you're trying to keep your skin even. It helps to not trigger that mechanism of dark melanin production, which is hyperpigmentation. That's true.
Right
That's
on.
true.
Okay. Thank you, Michelle.
Thank you, Michelle. I have one question, and I know we're about to end, but a person who has alopecia, I know that, what is a good skincare regimen for someone who has alopecia?
On the face or on the head?
On the face. Can you, because alopecia, you even lose your eyebrows as well, correct?
That is absolutely correct. So alopecia is a disorder, which is the loss of hair. It sometimes, not always, affects people also with hypo, with an O, pigmentation of the skin, whereas hyperpigmentation is the darkening of the skin. Hypopigmentation is the lightening of the skin. They get light spots. However, aside from medical treatments or ointments recommended for the treatment of the disorder, the skin care does not change unless there is specific sensitivity that you always treat first. But the skin, you treat it as you would like vitiligo. You still treat it as skincare.
Oh, okay. Well, Vosh, unless you have another question for Rudy. Do you have another question for Rudy? If not, I'm going to thank Rudy.
Yeah, thank you, Rudy. I could talk to you more and more about skin. I think it's so important.
I really want to.
Right? We'll have to either have you back, or people can ask questions in the comments, and hopefully you'll answer them.
Thank you, David, and Michelle for commenting. But Rudy, thank you so much for joining the episode tonight for Skin Tight. You have educated us. You have informed us. You have been a reference for us tonight, and for that, we are grateful to have you on the show. So thank you, my brother.
Thank you, guys. Thanks, everyone.
Bye-bye. Thank you. Don't go away. We will bring you right back.
I got you.
Thank you, Rudy. Whoa, that was very informative. Okay. I was feeling that. I didn't want to let him go.
No, my skin feels better as it is. Like, I'm just like, whoa, I'm ready to keep it moving.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, for our second segment tonight on the show, We See You. This is where we actually bring on a Black business owner. And tonight we have Omololu Mejek Kodumi. He created the Triumph Therapeutics Pediatric Center, where he is the CEO and founder. The company he designed the company to provide high-level care to residents of the District of Columbia. The company's comprehensive training allows him to provide a multifaceted approach to treating pain and functional deficits arising from muscular lectical. I hate when I have to say that word. Musculoskeletal. That's right. Neurological and spinal conditions. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our stage tonight, Omololu Meje-Kodumi. Hey, Omololu.
Hey, everyone. Thanks for having me.
How you doing?
I'm excellent. I'm excellent. How are you guys?
We are fine. Thank you. Thank you for being here. I call him the big kid, ladies and gentlemen. Okay. Y'all saw that picture. Norman, can you put that picture back of him in one of his offices on that swing? Okay, because I think I might have to go and visit him. You see this right here, ladies and gentlemen? Okay. If I can go get a therapy session with Omololu, I think I might do it. But thank you for being here tonight, man.
It is my pleasure. And that's the point of our clinic, is to make it fun and inviting so that kids don't want to leave and they want to come back.
I will be there. So again, congratulations. Can you share with us, Omololu, what is Triumph Therapeutics and the services your company provide?
Of course. So Triumph is a multidisciplinary clinic that provides physical therapy, occupational therapy, and speech therapy to children from birth to 18 years of age. We specialize with kids because therapists can do so many things with all ages, and sometimes you just have to have a niche that you work with. And especially when these times in the pandemic, so many children are stuck in the house. They're not socializing with their friends. They're not going to the playground. They're not doing gross motor activities that they would do. They're not climbing on swings and going down slides, and they are really affected by it. And there are lots of needs that just doesn't get better over time. So you need a skilled clinician to come in and just get them on the right track.
Can't you just kick them out the house?
That's
what our parents did. Get out the house. Don't come back until the lights come on.
Don't do that. Child Protective Services will be at your door. Don't you do that. Don't do it. Don't do it.
So, Omololu, what was the driving force behind you wanting to start Triumph?
So I think the biggest thing to start Triumph Therapeutics was visibility. As it's rare to be a Black male occupational therapist, and especially it's rare to be a Black male occupational therapist working with children. And I've worked in so many settings, and the recurring theme to some of these young kids, especially African American kids, were, you look like me, and I just got excellent results from working with these kids. And I thought, they need to see that someone that looks like them cares about them and wants to help them improve in the littlest of things. So that's the driving force to opening Triumph.
And representation does matter.
Yeah.
We talk about like ending the sort of like stigma against getting therapy, whether it be emotional therapy or physical therapy, and you doing what you do is helping end that stigma with physical therapy. Now, you started the company during a pandemic. What was some of the challenges that went along with that?
Well, Triumph has been in existence since 2016, and I opened the therapy clinic in September 2020 at the height of the pandemic. And the biggest challenge was the silence. Opening a new business went during a shutdown. No one is leaving their house. No one knows you're there. You can't market to doctors' offices because every office is closed. The schools aren't picking up their phone. No one is out. So, that was the biggest challenge, is just having faith and planting the seeds, hitting the pavement, leaving messages, dropping off donuts and coffee at the lobby, and then waving through the glass window and then having to leave. For a while there, it was pretty touch and go, but with faith and planting the seeds, everything just came together.
Nice.
Well,
right on.
Keith Jackson, he said that it's interesting. Looks like the pandemic is causing orthopedic issues for all ages. Are you seeing more kids now? I mean, Are you seeing that that the impact of the pandemic has increased what you've had to do in taking care of your patients?
I mean, that's such a broad question, and because there's so many different kinds of things, I'll just say, I'll say three things that are specifically children related. We see a lot of babies with something called torticollis, which is a twisting of the head and neck that causes a tilt, and so they need to be positioned and stretched in a way that is safe, and so they can kind of grow out of that and be able to develop, their gross motor function normally. So that's with the babies. That's when we see kids as early as 9 days old sometimes for that condition. Something else is something called sensory processing disorder, where children have an inability to process senses in the world, and it causes behavior issues. For example, we have kids who don't tolerate wearing socks. They don't tolerate tight clothing, and so you'll see, let's say you see a 6-year-old in the snow wearing flip-flops and a t-shirt, because if he tries to put on a jacket or boots, he just has a complete meltdown. And parents are like, what am I supposed to do? That's when an occupational therapist comes in and does a sensory assessment, and we do exercises and activities that kind of desensitize or resensitize the child to different different senses. And then the third thing is speech development, not being in preschool, not being in a classroom setting and talking. So many children have delayed speech because they're not they're not around their peers. That's the best way to learn. A kid's occupation, the kid's job is to play. And when you're in a lockdown, in a pandemic, you're not playing, you're not learning, you're not developing. And so what happens when we go back to school and you can't even say good morning, or you can't say my name is, because you just never had to. So for children, that's what we're seeing. I would say for adults and just all general orthopedics, movement is the best medicine. And being stuck in the house and not going to the gym, people are afraid to go to the gym. People don't want to wear their mask. People are depressed, and we sit, and our spine gets curved. We're watching TV. We go from the bed to the couch to sitting to our computer, working from home, and we're not moving. So it just makes sense that things are that everyone's getting affected by this. This is truly a pandemic.
Yeah. I want to answer Carol Acevedo. I think I said that right, Carol, and if I've mispronounced it, my apologies. Carol asked, what are some gross motor signs I should look for that may indicate my 2-year-old son may need OT services?
Okay, so let's say he is falling down a lot, and you're just walking with him and he's just constantly tripping for no reason, or your 2-year-old is extremely afraid of going up and down the steps. Are they holding the banister and climbing up the steps, and are they excited to do it? There's something called gravitational insecurity, where they're afraid to fall, and so when you're going down the steps, the 2-year-old will cling to your legs for dear life because they're so afraid. And that's a sign that there might be something wrong. Usually OTs, we deal with fine motor issues, more like grasping, being able to use a pincer grasp, these two fingers, to pick little Cheerios or fruit. If your 2-year-old isn't doing that, if they're not picking at little things like that, it's really going to affect them later in life, because how will they hold a pencil, and how will they manage a zipper or a button? So the earlier you can intervene, the better.
So, okay, I'm seeing some of these questions come in, which are very, very good, and I want to go ahead and ask this question. Well, let me just say for Lisa Swan, she wants to know what type of therapy does Triumph provide. Can I send her to your website? Would that be?
Of course, that would be
please,
great.
So we will put the website up before we leave. Alyssa, how about that? Is that okay? Let us know if that's okay. So, Omalulu, before we let you go, we want to know what are some of the biggest obstacles that, I'm sorry, yeah, what are some of the biggest obstacles that you have to face in the first year of practice in in this practice?
Goodness, the list goes on. The list goes. I feel like it's
Give us your top three.
Growing list. I would say being known in the marketing, just having brand awareness. When you're a new practice located in Upper Northwest with practices around you that have been established for 10, 15, 20 years, and you're the new guy on the block. And why would people want to come to you? So the biggest thing for that is to have a very strong and unique social media marketing approach, having videos, having reels, having people experience what it's like to come to Triumph Therapeutics. We're truly a family-oriented practice, and from the minute you come in to the minute you leave, it's a therapeutic experience. Our front desk person is engaging with the kids. They're asking questions. When they finish therapy in the back, they're asking them, how did you do? They're giving them prizes. Another challenge would be personnel. It's a employees market. People can go anywhere. So what can you as a business bring to someone looking for a position? At this point with the pandemic, it's not just about a salary. Do people feel like they are having a meaningful experience with these children? I'm just going to leave it at those two things, but if we had more time, I can keep going.
Thank you. Well, we plan to bring you back because I have a feeling our audience wants to see you again, but go ahead, Vash.
I would love to be
back. I mean, before we let you go, what's been the most rewarding thing about owning and operating Triumph Therapeutics?
I love it when I get to discharge a kid, when and sometimes it happens over 6 months, and sometimes you see a change in the kid in one session. And usually let's say a 2-year-old comes in and they're just so afraid. They have no social skills. They don't know how to meet new people. But after that first session, and they play with the therapist, and they develop that rapport, and they're literally crying with their mom to say, I don't want to leave, I want to stay here. And with the longer clients, we have a little graduation ceremony, and it's kind of fun because I get to give them degrees like an advanced degree in handwriting or manuscript with a concentration in social interaction, and we take pictures with them, and they just love it, and that's the biggest thing. I'd say another thing is when someone calls and say, hey, my neighbor down the street said she had a great experience with Triumph, and I want to bring my kid here for X, Y, and Z. That's the biggest, that's the best reward for me, because to know that we are helping as many people as we can, one kid at a time.
Well, you have taken us. We're gonna give you that last word, Omalulu. Thank you so much for being here tonight and introducing our viewers to Triumph Therapeutics. We have put Triumph Therapeutics website on the screen, so please visit Triumph Therapeutic. Get in touch with Omalulu and his staff, and for your children, you will not be disappointed. Ladies and gentlemen, we're at the end of the show, and thank you for joining us for our first show of the year. We Skin Tight with Mr. Rudy Miles, if we can bring him back on the camera as well. Thank you, Rudy, for being here tonight. Next week, we are back for another episode, and our episode next week, you don't want to miss it. It is called Code Switching. Okay, so you all, Google it, and you all be back here next week at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Our words of the week: invest in your skin is going to represent you for a very long time. Thank you for joining Vash and I tonight, ladies and gentlemen, on He Said, He Said, He Said. Thank you to Rudy Miles, and thank you to Omalulu Mejo. I'm not even going to say Omalulu. I'm not going to do it because I don't have my teleprompt up here right now. But thank you so much.
You did a great job.
Did I do a great job? Thank you for joining us tonight. We will see all of you next week on the next episode of He Said.
He said.
All together.
He said.
See you all next week. Thanks again.
Bye, everyone. Thank you so much.
Good night.